Today is Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor 42, Week 3.
This episode was titled Go for the Gusto. And that was from Omar. I know we say Omar, you and me. But on the show, they seem to be... They're saying...
You should Omar.
Yes, that's how they seem to be saying it on there. Omar. Omar. Real quick. Instead of Omar. It's almost like it's one syllable when they do it.
I don't care.
Okay. Good enough. It's we're at Taku. It's day 6. And Omar is there, and Lindsay's there, and Maryanne's there, and they reveal that Maryanne shared her extra vote. What did you think about that?
You know what I think about that.
Not the best choice.
It's like, keep it to yourself. Though if she'd already told them, that's what we're not getting to see. What they tell them when they come back from those trips. They're not showing us.
Right. We didn't get to see it, see if anybody's blowing their story or how much they're sharing.
Yeah. If she told them, then they knew beforehand that she either would or wouldn't. So.
Right.
So,
but the way they showed the reveal when she got back, it appears that she hadn't told them that.
That is true.
Yeah. Do you think that makes them maybe not trust her as much?
Of course.
When she maybe came back and said one thing, but it turned out another way?
Oh, I don't know about that, but Lindsay wasn't feeling too trusty just because she had it.
Right. She hadn't quite decided what to do about that yet.
Well, if it ends up that them as a tribe can use it after the merge, that would be kind of awesome. But there's no guarantee that it won't be used against them.
Mm-hmm.
So Maryanne could use it against Lindsay. So sure, she should be nervous.
Or maybe you get tribe swapped with Maryanne and you realize, hey, she didn't have a vote. So yeah. Or she's got an extra one now. So maybe that saves you. I don't know. You got to be careful how you play it for sure. And they decide on their agenda for the day, which includes searching for hidden immunity idols. And I wasn't surprised to see her find it because I was so confident that she had found the one associated with the potato skins phrase. I was just thinking, that's her voice reading that. Yep. But she ended up with a different one.
You've said that all along.
She ended up with the bunny rabbit clue. So maybe they just took the recording of her saying the other one and used it in that preview clip.
Yeah, she read them all 3 to Omar since he was with her when she found it. So
we were not surprised that she chose to take that risk. And her clue, the thing she has to say, her phrase rather, is it's another classic case of the bunny rabbit having dinner in the mailbox.
Which makes no sense.
And then we get the sort of resolution from the previous Next Time on Survivor where she says, I felt bait and switched because I lost my vote. And there's this goofy phrase.
Okay, over to the Green Tribe. Vati, Hi, and Lydia are making fun of Daniel for losing everything.
Yeah, he's lost
including his shoulder.
His swimming shoes, yeah.
So, and they tell us again about how the tribe is in 3 pairs of 2.
Mm-hmm. And Daniel has decided he really needs to see the fine print on that Beware Advantage again. Maybe there's something he missed. Something's bothering him.
Well, he wants to know if it'll go away. That's what he was after, was if I get rid of Mike, will this go away? I would have thought Mike might figure that out. But it's like he wants something. He wants to know how to use it. He's not asking for no reason.
And Daniel approached Mike right there in front of Jenny. I guess everyone's clear on the alliances or something to that degree. Mike tells us that Daniel's being a little neurotic, but he's angling to get another look at that. What'd you think about how all this played out? How this time it was Daniel that loses pieces of it.
So much for our theory of Daniel hid it. He just lost it.
He straight up
didn't even know
lost it. Yeah.
And that was to Mike's point. That's why I didn't want to do it. Well, you shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to make Daniel angry, so he didn't want him to use that against him.
So he actually
either,
dropped the immunity idol, which currently has no power, but he dropped it in the grass unaware. And then when he went to return stuff to Mike, he didn't give him the congratulations note because it was still stuck in his shorts. So he just came across as very bumbling and incompetent in that whole sequence. We thought Mike was bad before. I think Daniel topped him with this one.
Or the whole episode.
Come back from commercial and boom, we're in the challenge. So we knew we were in for it.
Yeah, we knew there was going to be a lot happening.
Because that was quick.
That was very quick.
It's a combination immunity reward challenge. Maryanne delivers her line about the bunny rabbit eating dinner in the mailbox, and Mike goes, aha, I was waiting to hear that. And now I'm expecting to hear something from Ika and nothing.
So
Crickets.
he doesn't say he is.
So he holds back.
He doesn't want people to know he has it if they've figured it out. So.
Yeah, and I think there's been some confusion going around. Who was it? I can't remember who sent the email to us. Sorry. One of the fans sent an email saying that maybe there was something going on because they expected that Mike should have read it the last time. He should have said his phrase last time. And it's very ambiguous, the way the wording is on that explanation. So it basically says they're not powered up. So to know if the idols have been powered up, then you must say the phrase. Not you must go to every tribal council and say the phrase like they were having them do.
I thought that was how it was last time.
They did do that up until a point, and then I think they changed the rules so that Xander didn't have to keep repeating that dum-dum phrase. I think Evie even explained that at some point in one of her interviews.
I don't remember, but anyway, Mike chose not to say his.
Yeah, and that is his prerogative. You only have to say it if you want to know if they're powered up.
Do you think it's a good idea when Jeff shows them the reward before the challenge?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you gotta get motivation.
Oh yeah.
You pitching these Captain Obvious questions to me. Yeah, it was a nice display of fruit. Even the small one was still good stuff.
Well, you did good, Captain Obvious. Okay, so everyone has to go out into the rough waters.
Well, 4, so because they're playing with the minimum amount that's in
that's playing
Taku. Yeah. So let's see who sat out.
Lydia
Romeo
and Daniel.
For Vati, and then Romeo again for Ika.
Yep. Why does he keep? He must not can swim well.
Yeah, I think they're probably putting their best in the water potentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna have to dive down, untie, and retrieve a ladder, and then they've got to use the ladder to climb up and get a key. Hold that ladder up while they're out in the water to get a key, and then they've got to unlock the sandbags. And then they've got to toss 5 sandbags up onto these platforms that are suspended above them at 5 different levels.
Yeah, it seemed like a big wave just about knocked them off the platform, except for Drea. And but having to dive down against the current, that looks so hard.
Especially for the little ones.
Well, Jenny couldn't do it, then Hi couldn't do it, and then Mike was struggling to do it.
Yeah, and
he finally
they showed him getting bounced all around. But let's take a minute and talk about the superstar on Taku. Jonathan just dove straight to it, untied it, brought it up, threw the ladder on his shoulder by himself, which was the first time he impressed Probst, because Probst said, that ladder is not light. That is a metal ladder.
he doesn't even act like the waves are an issue.
No, he did not get pushed around, at least that we saw. Now, that was a hero's edit, if there ever was one,
well, you know what
for someone in a challenge.
I kept thinking when he went down to get the ladder, I thought, but James Clements always said, I always sink. I can't even swim in a pool. I just go straight to the bottom.
Because all the muscle and the density of the muscle.
You know. And so I thought, well, that plays in his favor today. If he goes straight to the bottom, that's where he wants to be. So
Maybe, but he's also super comfortable in the ocean because he runs a business down by the ocean.
Yep,
so
that's his thing. And he was just absolutely awesome. I'm glad Jeff said something to him and told him he was awesome.
So not only did get the ladder, but he goes back and he gets Omar, and then he goes back and he gets Maryanne. He just kind of threw Omar towards the place where they had to stand the ladder up.
Further that way, and then get Maryanne. And then Lindsay had to retrieve Omar at one point.
Yes, she was pitching in and helping too. So it was.
And I thought,
it was both of them.
Everybody just grab a hold of the ladder, and Jonathan will pull you to shore.
That would have been super smart. You said that when he was doing it towards the end of it when they were coming in. But if he had used that from the beginning.
Well, I thought he was trying to. That's why he was calling Omar toward him.
No, he was saying, "Come on over here, and then I'll carry you in." Which that did not work for them. They needed some extra help. And so Lindsay and Jonathan ended up helping them. And then you briefly see Jonathan and Omar holding the ladder, but then it's just Jonathan. And Lindsay climbs up. Right up and grabs it.
Really, they could have done it with two people.
They could have done the whole challenge with two and one. Yes.
Absolutely.
They could have said, you know what? Take as many people as you got in your tribe. I think we'll still beat you.
The only reason Jonathan needed a second person was to climb go up the ladder and get it while he held it. So, yeah. That was incredible.
He probably could have just knocked the pole down himself. I doubt they sing in them in.
That wasn't the challenge.
Yeah.
Though, so.
Well, you can improvise in the challenges.
But they got their key, ran up there, unlocked it, and landed. All of them came in first.
Meanwhile,
and the other people still trying to get the
and Vati
key.
Are being swept around the beach by the waves.
All around in the waves. Yeah.
They were struggling,
and it was just getting worse.
So we called it. We called it. We thought that one tribe was going to end up ahead, and
Jeff
that's why he said both. Yeah. So they end up canceling that portion of the in-water challenge for Ika and Vati. They send out a couple of the crew to retrieve their keys, and then they restart the challenge. And Taku has completely finished, even before they stop the challenge for the other two.
You're only fighting for second place and not go to tribal at this point. You can't win first place.
So Jenny and Swati go up and grab the sandbags, and now it's on. Now that was a good back and forth between Ika and Vati landing the sandbags. You had Rocksroy and Drea throwing for the blue tribe.
Hey, something Rocksroy's good at.
Mike and Chanelle were throwing for Vati, and it seemed like Mike got a lot of them, and then Chanelle was trying to finish it off. So it came down to Chanelle versus Drea, and then Drea landed the last one, sending Vati to tribal council. And that was interesting. I didn't remember that being an option, but Probst offered for Taku to trade their fruit for the fishing equipment that they had missed out on. So they did that. At first I thought they traded their tools, and you were like, no, wait a minute, run it back. What did he say?
I said, he said fruit. He didn't say tools.
Yeah. So they got the tools and the fishing equipment, so they're going to be thrilled. It'll be interesting to see what Jonathan can do with that, because he said in one of the preseason interviews that he liked to spearfish, so...
Well, yep.
He might even know how to throw a net.
I'm pretty sure Jonathan could do most anything in the water now.
The superhero's at it. Not only was he so featured in all that and so dominant in the challenge, Probst calls him out for it and says that it's rare that we see someone
he was humble, he wasn't
perform like that. So we've got a new legend. It doesn't matter what else happens.
Yeah.
In this season,
Jonathan.
He has done this. He has put his mark on season 42. He's joined an elite group of the bros and the great players. The challenge beast, all around great players, men and women that have played that Probst likes to highlight.
Oh yeah, nobody was a bigger challenge beast than Stephanie.
Or even Parvati in some of those challenges where they were up on the pole up there, and she did it so effortlessly, where they had to stand on the edge of their feet.
Yep. But she could certainly do the endurance stuff, that's for sure.
Okay, so Taku is given the opportunity to pick someone from the Vati tribe to go on a journey, and they choose quickly, with very little deliberation, they choose Chanelle from the Vati tribe to go on the journey up to Shipwreck Wheel Mountain. And then they, for their second choice, they send Omar to go along with her.
And they couldn't choose anybody who'd already been, so.
Yep, Vati loses their flint since they lost.
Yes, they do.
And Taku got theirs back. Chanelle's worried because she doesn't get to be part of any of those plans back at camp.
She should be.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that doesn't work out so well, and you get to be the one that's going home just because you weren't there.
Yeah.
But that didn't seem to be in the works. Nobody was targeting her, thank goodness. And they all wanted to talk to her to make sure she was on their side. So, and Jenny was scared that...
She knew what was up. She had been through this before, so she was really hoping Chanelle plays it safe.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Well, I wasn't sure what this trip was about. I kind of thought maybe they were going to do something else, but they didn't. It was still just another risk. Risk or no risk.
Yeah. Protect your vote or risk your vote.
So what did you think about that? Because she told Omar she could not risk her vote going to tribal council that night. Mm-hmm. And then she turns around and does risk it. I mean, I don't blame him at all for going for it.
Right.
I would have too, because I would have been so certain that she was, oh no.
Well, it tells you two things. I'd say at a minimum. It tells you that neither one of them is really good at evaluating those kind of scenarios. They both mismanaged it.
I don't know about that. I don't.
Well, he didn't read her right. I can tell you that.
No, but
I mean that's the end result.
He thought he could trust what she said, and I thought so too. So misread that, and now when he eventually figures out that he has lost his vote, I think it's more she just changed her mind.
He'll realize that she can't be trusted.
Here's what I think she did: is she went, "Oh, but I'm going to look bad if I don't take a risk. I should take a risk because, I'm going to look bad if I don't take a risk."
Probst coached us before the season began to play big,
and so that's why she chose to do it. I do believe she meant what she said when she said it. That she couldn't, and then she just overthought it and decided to go for it because she thought Omar will protect me. He won't do it. What? To me, that was nuts. Of course he'll do it.
So we did jump ahead just a little bit. Let's go back to the Vati camp and rehash what happened there before it cut to Chanelle and Omar out on the Shipwheel Island. So when they got back, Jenny was talking about how brutal a challenge it was, and Mike reminded her that he had no vote, so they're going to have to get things straight. And then we see Daniel talking to Lydia and Hy down at the beach. They went to go wash off after they got back from the challenge, and they said, "Hey, it's pretty straightforward. We'll just put 4 on Jenny, and we're good to go." So we see that it's lining up. It's either going to be Jenny or Lydia, the way that at this point the voting looks like it's panning out.
But then Daniel runs back and tells Jenny and Mike that, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you.
Mm-hmm. We'll vote out Lydia.
He said, but he did say he wasn't sure about Chanelle.
Yep, she's
which
the
I
deciding
thought
vote.
was kind of strange.
Yep.
But so maybe he was already looking for a way to blame Chanelle for something.
Okay, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know that he planned that far ahead.
Well, but we both had Lydia going, and so I had already given up. Once Chanelle did that, I'd already given up.
When she did the risk, and by the way, that's where Omar said the title was when he decided to take the risk, go for the gusto.
Yep.
So we both were saying as it went to commercial that looks like Jenny's getting voted out because Chanelle really dropped the ball here. So only Daniel, Jenny, Hy, and Lydia have votes coming back. Okay, we're we're back at the Vati camp, and Lydia's saying Daniel's a smart guy, and she's got confidence that he'll do the right thing. And Daniel tells him, "Oh, they pitched me on voting you out, Lydia, but I'm with you."
Well, I had a little bit of hope when they came up with the idea that to convince Hi and Lydia to split their vote.
Mm-hmm.
To convince them to
That was Chanelle, right? When she got back, Daniel met her
Yeah.
when she got back, and she said, "Well, I lost my vote, so we got to get them to split it."
I thought, whoa, that could work. If you can convince them that you think that one of them could have an idol, and that would be the smart
So we had
thing to do.
brief flicker of hope, but it really confused Hi. He's like, "Wait a second, we got 3-1 here.
Yeah.
This is pretty easy."
His radar went up, and he was like, not sure I trust what they're saying, or why they think we should do that.
Doesn't add up. Yeah, and he could tell something was off about Chanelle. What did you think about that? That he had figured that out.
I don't know. I've not seen the interaction between them enough to know what their vibe is together.
Mm-hmm.
So
How he dialed
but
in
obviously he felt something.
on that. He was picking something
off.
up. Yeah.
So he has good instincts, I guess. for
Perceptive.
that.
Yeah. Good situational awareness. He was detecting that something was wrong.
Okay.
Chanelle tells us that she may not have a vote, but she thinks that she's good enough to direct the vote.
Yeah, well,
Tribal council, get your torch, get fire.
Hy tells us he's dreamed of this since he was a child, and he's struggling with no rice, but he's still happy to be there.
I like that he did the positives, and he smacked Probst around a little bit.
For not giving
the
us
no
any
rice.
rice,
Yeah.
Probst.
And then he ended with the positives again.
Then he talks about, well, this vote will draw a line in our tribe, but this is my family, and I trust them. And I was thinking,
Well, we knew more than him at that point, didn't we?
yes, we did.
What'd you
But-
think about what Daniel said, how he led with this, why I'll lose
I will
42?
try to control myself. You already know what I think,
Yes.
because I have voiced
She'd
my
been venting a little
opinion.
before we got started.
I just want to smack him around so badly. Why would he give that away?
Why I'll
He
lose
told
42.
Hy.
Yeah. And again, Hy, good situational awareness. His antenna was up. He picked up on it immediately. When Daniel said, "I trust Mike, and I trust Chanelle, and I
my
trust my
mom,"
mom," and Hy's like, "Okay,
to
what about
smack
me?"
around and tell me.
What
and
about me?
nothing. Well,
What
and
about-
he visibly reacted.
Yeah.
Hy's face. Look at Hy, Daniel, when you're speaking, and see
Or
how
watch the
he's
room.
reacting.
Yeah, check the room.
Yes. I thought, but why would he even say that? That
Oh,
was so
he's-
stupid.
It's because he's comfortable talking, and he likes to talk. He likes to hear himself talk. So he didn't
Well,
register that he had made a blunder.
Well, I would like to be your mama right now so I could give you a spanking.
Lydia's concerned. She knows that it's possibly her. And then again, Hy catches Chanelle and Daniel when they say to each other in a whisper in the back over people's heads, when they say, "Lydia, yeah, Lydia, we're voting Lydia." So a second time. And Jenny says that she's worried that because she had to go on that journey, it cost her trust with the group. And you can
And-
see Hy, when he goes to vote, he is struggling. He's not clear on how to make his choice there. He knows something's
Yeah.
wrong, but he hasn't worked out what's going on yet.
But he did not vote the way they wanted him to. He was at least smart enough not to do that. His radar was up, and so good on Hy. He did what he should do for himself and Lydia.
For his alliance, yes.
Yes. He picked up on the right cues, and I don't know where the other people were, but
So we end up getting 2 votes for Lydia and 2 votes for Jenny. So we revote. It comes back, and we get one vote for
vote.
Jenny and one vote for
vote.
Lydia. And you could tell Hy was, even after the first vote, he's like, "Wait a
he's
second,
still
2 and 2?"
confused.
Yeah.
Where are all the votes? he
Yeah,
said.
even asked Probst. Probst says, "Well, wait a minute. I'll explain."
It's like, well, You wouldn't normally have to reveal that you don't have a vote, but because of this tie, you have to reveal it. So that didn't work well for anyone. For Mike, for Chanelle. It's like, what is happening?
I don't think wasn't that another Survivor first for this episode? I don't recall them having to reveal that they didn't have votes before.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. So I don't remember it happening. So so then Jeff further explains that, okay, now you four have to decide, but these two don't have a vote. So it's you two that vote. So really,
Meaning
they
Hi
had to
and Daniel.
Yes.
It boils down to just
Yes, it boils
Hi
down
and
to
Daniel.
your votes, what happens. But if you're not unanimous, then, and we both looked at each other and said, whoever says it first, I'll draw rocks. I'm not gonna
Right.
change my vote. That's who will win the struggle.
That's the power move. That's the move
That's
to
the
make.
power move. And I thought Daniel would make it, and then he didn't.
I thought
just-
he was making
play,
it,
play, play,
and
play,
then
play.
he surprised me by making the opposite play. He said, "Look, no matter what, I don't want to draw rocks."
Yep.
So he gave
So
up
he should not
any
draw
leverage
rocks.
that he
I
had.
don't want to. Well, yeah, that's all I had to do then. Is like, well, I'm not changing mine.
Yes, I'm fine to draw rocks.
He doesn't want to do it.
I'm voting for Gina.
Even if I don't do it, I won't let him know I won't do
Right.
it. I'm gonna make him think I'll do it.
Yes,
And
he
then
had the power.
He
It
could
had all
always
shifted
change his
to him
mind.
at that point.
Exactly. Daniel handed it over. But then the topper, well, I only voted for Lydia, but I was voting for Chanelle.
Because Chanelle told me
Chanelle told me
to vote.
Was it me? Again, smack.
I called this before the season began.
What?
It was just because it was a funny rhyme, but I said,
Oh, yeah.
Daniel Strunk is Strunk the skunk. And he
Well,
showed his colors.
You were correct.
He showed his colors. It's black with that
He
big
did.
white stripe running down the middle there. The skunk is out. Yeah, it was interesting to watch it all play out. I enjoyed it. It wasn't going the way we had predicted or wanted for JSFL, but it was really an intense,
No, but it was
exciting.
beyond that by this time. It was
was an
beyond
engaging
my
tribal
vote
council.
off pick. It
Yeah.
was- and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed all the diversity, but I just so wanted to smack Daniel.
Well, because he wouldn't do
I don't
what you
think
wanted.
I've wanted to smack anyone in 40 years, but,
No, you've said that before.
Well,
Besides me,
well, I've forgotten it.
because you've got a violent
yeah,
side.
but I gently smack you all the time. Lovingly smack you, baby. No, I don't hit people in anger, but I don't know. I might hit
Like
Daniel
High
in
stood his ground.
stupidity.
He figured it all out and said, "I vote Jenny, and I'll draw rocks." And then it was just
Yep.
a
Then it
bunch
was
of
really all
don't
over.
you won't hold it against me kind of
Blah blah blah, and you'll be with me.
lip
'cause they
service
don't-
things that
they
had
don't
to
like
happen.
Me now, and blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking,
Daniel Folds just like up 'em and saving Private Ryan. Yep.
I will not draw rocks on day
No,
7.
no rocks. Jenny's out. The end.
Bye, Jenny.
Bye bye, Jenny.
So, I was so torn during this tribal council. I had so many emotions: disappointment, anger, excitement for there's so much going down, and happening.
Dynamic,
But,
yeah.
but I was
Without being live.
I was annoyed with Chanelle.
Well,
Number
she
one.
set the catastrophe in motion because of her misread or misplay
Yep.
on Shipwell Island.
Yep.
She just really she did that to herself, but then Daniel made it worse.
She did, and she took Jenny with her.
Yeah,
But,
Jenny was collateral damage for the mistake that Chanelle had made.
Anyway, good on High and Lydia. They pulled it out. And if I were the other 4 tribe members of Vati, I would gather together and vote Daniel out at the next.
Well, he certainly demonstrated he can't be trusted, but I don't think it's going to play that way.
I don't
Mike,
either, but
there's some people are going to hold a grudge instead of trying to divorce themselves of it as much as they can, which is really hard when you're in the middle of it.
well, but really, why would Hi and Lydia trust Daniel when he flops around like a dying fish?
You were just waiting to use that line.
I like that line.
You tickled
That's
yourself
what I said.
by saying it before we started recording, and you worked it in.
He's flopping around like a dying fish. You're right. I was waiting to say that because it's true. And I would not trust him for that reason. Because he looked right at him and said, oh, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. So,
Well, I think it's possible that Chanelle and Mike could regroup, but Mike seems like the type that would hold a grudge. And since Daniel and Hi and Lydia have the majority, they don't necessarily have to do anything to entertain another idea.
I actually do think Chanelle and Mike will kind of pair up.
Well, they have no choice. They're on the outs from the three the majority that has control of that tribe now.
But if they were smart, they'd still try to pull Daniel back long enough to, if nothing else, vote him out and not trust him for sure. But
I'm with you. I would get rid of Strunk the skunk because you cannot count on him. And that's what was on display for everyone.
Yep.
Even Hi might recognize that. Emotions are really high for them coming back from this tribal council. So
I was about ready to see everybody go home except Jenny and Lydia. So, draw rocks. Come on, draw rocks.
Yeah. So that
would have been perfect.
It was a pretty spectacular episode as they go, and given that our hopes for this season we were keeping those dampened, this seemed like it exceeded our expectations.
Oh yeah, it certainly kept me engaged
because of the challenge, the aspect of the challenge, having to actually cancel it a part of it for the 2 weak tribes that couldn't complete it, compared to Taku, and then all this strategizing and maneuvering and how things went down at tribal council.
And I'm sure by the weekend, well, or at least maybe next Wednesday, I'll have stopped wanting to smack Daniel in the forehead.
Maybe. Let's talk about next time on Survivor. Maryanne is mad at Jonathan. And given whatever it was that Omar said, it sounds like that Jonathan maybe shared about the beware advantage. That was my guess based on the couple things that they said. Jonathan must have told Lindsay, and probably Omar told Jonathan, and then Jonathan told Lindsay. Or is that how you thought it might be playing out, or did you think it was something else?
I didn't know what it was.
That's the most obvious thing, right?
I didn't even think about that. I would have thought Maryanne would have told him.
Yeah, maybe not this time.
I already assumed Maryanne would have told everyone.
That's a good assumption.
So, and especially with Omar knowing. So, no, I didn't think that's what she was angry about. But it sounded like Omar said he's a bit of a slob or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which, I don't know if that's what he said.
The next time on Survivor clips
I couldn't tell.
Sometimes out of context and pieced together, so you can't always tell exactly what someone's saying. Romeo's...
Maybe we'll go in and turn on our...
Closed caption. And see what they put in.
Tell us.
Yeah, because they do say that CBS does that.
Sometimes that's wrong too.
Yeah, a lot of times it is for movies, huh?
Okay, and Romeo is complaining about Rocksroy. Add more of this. Pick that one. Do this.
Getting on his nerves.
He's like, shut up, Rocksroy.
So that's just more of the same.
That's a long time coming. I'm sure he didn't tell him to shut up.
But
I'm sure they wanted to since day one.
Daniel and Mike are having a discussion, and Daniel's response to whatever it is that Mike had previously said that we didn't get to see is, well, you weren't my number one, so I lied to you.
And Mike's like, yeah,
that's called playing me.
Yeah, that's
which
playing me.
He must have accused him of playing him, and then so Mike's just clarifying what that colloquialism means for Daniel, who didn't understand it. And then Mike tells us in confessional that there ain't no kumbaya left there. It's about the best you hope for is a crap baya. That's what they got left at Vati. So what do you think? You think Vati can recover?
They could. I don't know if they will.
I don't think they will.
I sort of
the only way they will is
fractured.
if they get rid of Daniel, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I still don't know that. I would be praying for a tribe swap about now if I were them.
Because this tribal council was a real trust buster for them.
Yes.
So that I don't
know that High will trust anyone again but Lydia, and he should. So, but he'd have a better shot. I think Chanelle might could turn High and Lydia around if she.
Yeah, but do you want to play with someone who gets rid of their vote in a critical moment like that? That's someone who plays super irresponsibly. And again, it says you can't count on.
I don't think they'll see it that way.
Oh, okay.
I
would
think that, they do what they do.
It's like you had one job, keep your vote. We knew based on what Jeannie told us what you were going to, and you goofed that up. So it says the greed for an extra vote overwhelmed the need to keep the vote simple.
Or they could say, that was courageous of you to try.
No.
No, I think they are fractured. That's just an instinctual kind of thing, that they're just so fractured now. That was just not for them, pleasant tribal council.
Definitely the crap by
wow,
like Mike said.
That was all over the place.
Yeah, it was good.
As a fan, it was very exciting.
We enjoyed that. Yes.
Whoa, now where are we going? Oh, my goodness.
It took some twists and turns for sure.
But
how about a JSFL update?
I can do that. We have 5 people now tied in first with 15 points. We had 8 people who lost their USB. 89 people lost a safe point. And congratulations to the 30 people who gained a vote-off point.
Yeah, good job.
In the side challenge, congratulations, Jeremiah. You're in first with 15 points. Drew and Laurel are in second with 13. With 12, Robert and Justin. And with 11, Cold Mike, Parker, Rebecca, and Stacy.
All right. Just kind of holding the line there.
There you have it. Anyway, what's your overall feeling for the episode? If you
really
past
positive.
That, I'm still reeling from tribal, so
yeah,
we probably should have waited longer for me to record it. But I'm still in reaction mode.
Yeah, when you get somebody who does that. When he started throwing Chanelle under the bus, that was just like a step.
That was ugly.
Yeah,
that felt ugly to me.
That was a step well over the line.
Yeah.
And that was his first instinct, at least to what we got from the edit. We understand that you can't see everything because those tribal councils are so long. But the version of it that we got to see, he
crossed a line in my book.
Very cowardly. Yeah. And then, his first instinct was to throw the blame and shame on someone else. So he didn't have to hold anything. It didn't have to represent or face the music for his choices.
Yep.
Yeah, that's best episode yet. And there have been some good ones in these first 3.
He's like, oh no, how can I best save me? Which is what he's supposed to.
Can't be my fault. I only did what I was told. I was just following orders. Good job, Strunk.
The thing is that he did cross the line, and you're going to lose one side or the other. So,
or both.
He went with the majority who actually had votes.
Yes.
So that was a good decision on his part, because they do have votes and the other 2 don't right now. But Chanelle's will have hers back now.
Do you think he could have pushed High back?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I thought he would do that.
If he had gone first.
I'm not in this and this, and I trust you, but I haven't spent enough time with Lydia and blah blah blah. But I trust you, and you're in with me, buddy. But,
no, you don't even say anything against anyone.
You just
say, "Hi, I'm gonna draw rocks."
I'll go to rocks. Well, you had to. I think
High would have folded.
Out. I think he would have too.
Yeah.
But High said it first, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It's whoever says it first and digs in
has the power.
Then the other one's like, whoa, if they're not going to budge, then do I really want to draw rocks? That's what it comes down to. Nobody really wants to draw rocks.
Not at all.
Some people have said they did, but I can't believe anybody really wanted to.
No, you got to have your back to the wall. You got to be in the minority alliance to be willing to do that.
How frustrating for Chanelle and Mike They have no power, no say whatsoever.
Yeah, well, it's both of them made those choices
He
knowingly.
kept wanting Chanelle to tell him in front of Hyde to vote, how to vote, and
I guess that's the other part. I wish she would have done that. I would have said, okay, well, if you can't decide, I will decide for you.
As usual.
Yeah. Now you don't even say that.
I know, but, little dig.
Yes, well, you're...
Little dig right now. It's just
definitely.
Just to at least think about it would make me feel better.
Yeah.
So maybe just a little revenge.
Hey, when you're talking about them like that and all the different facets of it, and that it had interesting pieces in the beginning, the middle, and the end, it's a good episode in our book. We're looking forward to hearing what you thought about it. We'd love to have you come take part in the listener feedback shows. We've been having a great time with those this season so far. If you want to join us, you can call and leave a voicemail at 206-350-1547, toll free 844-643-8737. You can record your own audio. That's how you get the best quality, and attach it, or just type up a quick text message and send it to us via email at joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. Feedback's due noon Pacific time on Saturdays. We ask that you please get it in as soon as possible and keep it in that 3-minute range so that we can give everybody's in there. If you send 6 minutes, 9 minutes, 12 minutes, as some people are want to do, it'll take me 3-4 times as long to process.
Or you just go in and take your first 3 minutes and be done.
So, sometimes, if there's a need for expediency, that might pan out that way.
Yeah,
so
well, yeah, that's true.
Keep that in mind as you do that, and the sooner you get it in, the sooner we can get it ready for Saturday's show. We really appreciate that.
Especially if you have a class on Saturday.
Yep, and I do. Anything else?
No, I think my brain's still just reeling, literally.
Right.
And so I have a lot to process.
Yes.
And maybe watch again.
A rewatch, for sure. We've already rewatched the challenge again because we knew we didn't catch everything there. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it and seeing if there's maybe some pieces that I missed or something like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They've definitely been rewatchable for us. We've rewatched each of the others.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm very much enjoying it. Even the crazy tribal council was exciting.
Better than we expected. I'd say that's my one sentence summary for how things are going right now.
Better than expected or even hoped.
Yes.
For me. So.
All right. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a good one.